And we are back. So, last we left off, the Fellowship found themselves in a literal ring of fire. As they were attacked by the Road Wardens, led by Velkin and, of course, his Blackhearts. They were set upon by the supposed defenders of law, though something wasn't quite right. As the fight broke out, Seamus noticed quickly that no one was acting the way they normally would act. They could not be bargained with. They were incapable of fear and most emotions, leading to a bloody, gruesome encounter where the men of the Empire butchered each other. Two of Bragadine's men-at-arms fell during this fight. Bragadine and Seamus themselves being extremely wounded. Marius, did Marius even get hit?
No, Marius didn't get touched.
Marius didn't even get hit once. However, he almost was going to get engulfed in a flaming fireball explosion, but he decided to make that not happen. So yes, he avoided that. However, the fort itself is burning. The walls have begun to catch at this point, and the buildings inside are definitely starting to heat up. And though the immediate threat is vanquished, the flames are pulling in. And that's what we're picking up. So, what would the three of you like to do?
I'm being dragged away, correct?
You're currently being dragged away by Bragadine and his remaining men-at-arms.
Bragadine would like to do a... Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Perception check to see if there's any escape, any way to get out of here without being roasted.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a perception test at -10 because you are missing an eye.
I'm still conscious, correct?
You are conscious, yes.
Okay.
Okay, so 53, 69. I rolled a 48. I got 2 levels of success. Excuse me, 1 level of success.
Okay. All right. With 1 level of success, first off, you can see that your horses, the 2 that you rode in on, Rachel, and then whatever Bragadine wants his horse to be called, they're currently they're skittish and terrified, and they are grouped towards the back of the fort itself, near the stables, which are currently also beginning to light as well. The horses inside are thrashing around. You do see, Bragadine, that it looks like the gate itself has burned to such a point that pieces of it are falling inwards. They're falling inwards, and massive planks are falling inwards, and a gap is slowly beginning to form. Possibly a mode of escape with only 1 success level for your perception test.
Marius, help me with Seamus. I think we might be able to... perhaps the gate, we can jump over the flames.
How big of a jump is that?
So, actually, there are no flames between you and the gate. The gate itself is burning, is the only problem.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So the gate's still ablaze.
Yeah, the gate is still currently burning, but it's starting to fall apart. So there's a hole beginning to form.
Oh, okay. Guess I would rush over to Seamus. Am I able to do like a... I know we're in like a tight window of time here. Am I able to, like, would I be able to heal him in a timely fashion? patch him up in a timely fashion, I guess? Or
Yes, enough to get by.
okay.
One of the things before that, a heal check or a strength check, whichever one, to pull one of the arrows out of me. Myself.
Yourself? Okay, you go ahead and
I'll
give
do it
me heal
myself.
check, Seamus. And you give
Probably
me heal check
the
as well, Marius.
Probably the chest one.
Okay.
So I can get both hands on that. Ooh. I'll burn my either resolve or resilience to try to negate the exhaustion for this roll.
Okay, that's fine.
So that will be a 33 out of 51.
Okay, with a critical success, I will allow you to remove all of the bolts. And, well, not the bullets. The bullets have to be removed with surgery.
Yeah. Just the bolts.
But the bolts, you can remove the bolts. I believe you only have one bullet in you.
I have Velko shot me, or not
Velkin
shot me. And then the dude with the
the rifle shot you. So you have two. So you cannot recover 2 wounds until you have those removed. Just so you know, your maximum wounds are reduced by 2 until you have those removed. But what did you get, Marius?
I'm gonna have to re-roll.
Oh,
It was bad.
I think I will have to try to remove the bolt in. I know I've got one of my my clavicle. Did the other two stick in me, or did they grate like?
I said one grazed you, but the other one did stick in you, so you have 2 bolts in you. Unfortunately,
Right.
Braggadine, you do not have the heal skill.
Yep.
If you want to try to do it yourself, you have to give me a strength test, and you're going to do damage to yourself when you do so.
Don't do it, bro.
I learned the last time.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
That gave me like super criticals last time.
All right.
The second roll, I got a 5 out of 37.
37. Okay, so his intelligence bonus plus success level, so plus 3 wounds you recover, Seamus.
6
wounds
total.
6 wounds.
You recover
Yeah. Alright.
6 wounds, Seamus. You're kind of up. You still have your exhaustion.
Okay.
You know, nothing some good old Colombian marching powder can't take care of. But regardless,
That's true. I've got one take left.
he's got one hit left.
One hit left. If you want it, just let me know. But Barry is probably going to be, I guess, trying to help Seamus over to his horse, Rachel.
Okay.
And Barry
All right.
over to their horses.
You begin moving towards the horses. The stables are burning. All the horses inside, and there are quite a few horses inside, are thrashing around. They're beginning to pull free some of the wood inside as it's beginning to weaken due to the effects of the flames. And several horses dart out of the main entrance that you have to dodge around. We won't have to roll for this or anything. But you do manage to secure Rachel and Braggadine's horse, at least. Some of the other ones are not doing so hot deep inside, if you would like to save them for PETA's sake. If not, we will continue forward. Mostly because it's going to be difficult to do so, just so you know.
Oh, boy.
Come on, Marius.
Once Marius gets the boys on their horses, is the gate open? Like the gate closed or something that I can open, or are they
Essentially
tied?
You're going to have to go in there and untie horses.
Oh shit!
And I mean, at this point, you know, if we're going to the point where you've got a hold of the 2 horses and you've gotten Marius, with the help of the other man at arms, who by the way has a bolt sticking out of his back, get Braggadine and Seamus up on their horses. The roof is caught at this point, and beams are starting to fall in. It's not looking good.
Okay, well, Marius is sad at the death of these horses. Can't ride them, you know. But
He can't ride them.
you know,
Can't ride 'em.
he has good animal care. He respects them. So he's saddened by it. But yeah, I guess he's just gonna try to make sure we can get out of here now, I guess.
Okay. You saddle up. The two of you saddle up, and you begin to look around. Bragadine had already pointed out that the gate was starting to give way, and quite some time has passed at this point. And you move over towards where the gate is, and you can see that there's definitely a hole opening up, but the heat is pressing in on all of you. And if a decision is not made now, you will begin to suffer the effects of exhaustion. All of you. So, what are we going to do at this point?
How big is the hole?
The hole is about the size of a horse. However, the rest of the gate is still burning around it. It's extremely hot.
Okay. Okay.
But it is getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah. I mean, if I can see that that's my only way out, I'm going for it.
Yeah.
Marius, is there like a trough of water nearby?
It's funny you say that, Marius. Isn't you, man? It's amazing what happens when you ask for things. There is a well that Seamus knows of. There's a well towards one of the houses, and you see the bucket essentially, and you see the well, and there is actually a full trough of water that would have been used for the horses.
Okay. I'm assuming Bragadine and Seamus are on their horses.
Yes.
So I guess myself and the other men-at-arms, come, the trough, and we'll douse ourselves in water.
All right. And you're going to jump through this hole?
Through that hole.
Hell yes.
Bragadine will also tell the man-at-arms to splash as much water onto the flanks of the horse as possible.
Okay, he'll splash some water on you. Why not? He kind of,
Yeah.
for the lady's sake, just kind of gives you that. I wouldn't. It's not quite golden, but it is a shower of some kind, as he splashing you with water. Probably does the same to Seamus's horse at this point, because why not? Just kind of flinging the water up on you. All right, who's going to attempt to burst through this hole first?
Seamus is.
Seamus, give me a ride check with all your exhaustion.
All right. Not going to be a good one. Where is it? Oh, yeah. This is going to be terrible. Yep. I'm going to re-roll that.
Please don't. Just accept the roll.
Oh, no. That's now what was a 94 is now an 11 out of 32.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Okay. So Seamus, you pull an old Marius move, and you get down close on Rachel's neck as you manage to guide her, and she doesn't want to go, but just through her trust in you and you being her master for so long, she charges forward. And it's like something out of like an action movie. The horse just kind of through the burning hole, through the door, and you hear the clops of feet on the other side. Who's next?
I'm assuming horses are going first.
Yeah. Bragadine's gonna fall through.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Go ahead and give me a ride check, Bragadine.
Okay. So. 1 level exhaustion. I'm just trying to figure out what my goal is going to be here. 28. 19. I got to get 19 or less.
Fuck.
We're going to use a fortune point.
Yes.
Oh boy.
26. So
Okay.
8 failure.
Okay, a failure. So Bragadine, you right behind Seamus, seeing him easily pass through. I mean, you're a Bretonnian. You're former Bretonnian. You're good with horses. You know, they're a staple in your culture. However, you're still not used to that eye, not having that depth perception. And as you're leaping through, the horse is just a little bit higher than you thought, and your head kind of planks on the the actual door itself. It rocks you backwards.
Am I removed from the horse?
You are not removed from the horse. You managed with just a failure. You're not removed from the horse. However, you do take. Let's see here. Oh damn!
Unconscious.
You take 8 wounds.
Whatever it is, unconscious.
You're unconscious. Okay.
Yeah.
You boom, and you manage to stay in the saddle to a point, and then we'll get to that in a second. You do manage to pass through the door, however.
Okay.
And as he does that, as he smacks it, the hole actually widens a little bit. It loosens some of the wood, and some more of it falls away from the impact.
You're welcome, Marius.
Marius or the man-at-arms?
I think my man-at-arms will fall through. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll have him go then.
I hope he crit
What
fails.
happened?
He doesn't have fortune points. I'm sorry. He doesn't. He doesn't.
That's true.
He doesn't. So he comes after seeing his lord get hurt. He's and he gets a little upset, and he goes to charge through, and he's shaking already at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes to leap through, and he doesn't quite make it. He kind of and you see as he kind of lands in the center, and he rolls forward through, but he's on fire as he rolls forward, and he's on the other side of the door. We're going to get to that in a moment. Marius, I'm assuming you're going to jump at this point.
Yeah. My turn.
Go ahead and jump after seeing that.
Is it athletics, I guess?
It's an athletics. However, after seeing someone get hurt like that, I won't give you any negative modifiers. Go ahead.
Okay. That's a 17 out of 44.
Okay. So Marius, you and you kind of dive through, like a swimmer. Straight through.
Straight through?
Straight through, and you're on the other side.
Do I stick the landing, bro?
Of course you do. You tuck and roll. You actually launch over the man-at-arms that's writhing on the ground right now, over
nice.
the top of him, and then roll on the other side.
Is he
3-point
still alive?
landing. Yeah, he's still alive. He's burning though.
Can I take my Sea Dragon cloak and put him out?
Yeah, you quickly take it off and put it over his person, dousing him. It's at this point, unfortunately, Braggadine's unconscious. But one of his feet is still in the stirrup, and he's just kind of hanging upside down from his horse, just kind of dragging there. But Seamus, you would be the first one to notice as you pass through the gate that there are men standing outside of this gate.
Oh boy.
Specifically, Seamus, you saw this before anybody else. Everyone else is kind of somewhat distracted. You see a man on a horse. He has a dark black kind of cloak about his person, dark leathers as well. You see a bracer of pistols across his chest, a sword on his hip. It looks like some kind of satchel he has under his cloak as well, and he has a tall, wide-brimmed hat.
Oh boy.
And his face looks eerily familiar as he's
like a
just
book
looking
critic.
at you. And he smiles. "Oh, Seamus, what have you done?" And you recognize the sultry voice of your old friend, the witch hunter, Walter Cole. Chol. It's German. I'm assuming that's Cole. Regardless, he is riding atop a horse, and there are a dozen fanatics, the ones from town, standing about. They're all holding flails, and they're kind of gripping tightly their hands. You see blood literally pooling around their fingers and dripping into the dirt around them. You also see a smaller figure standing next to Mr. Cole. It looks like a dwarf, except for he's completely clad in black plate armor. And you can't see any flesh, anything. And his helmet looks bizarre. It looks like nothing you've ever seen. There's strange tusks jutting out from the bottom of them. And he has a massive blunderbuss pointed at you. You also notice you see several other dwarven figures, not as elaborately decked out. They all are wearing plate armor, head to toe, nothing, no skin exposed. But theirs doesn't have as much prestige. It doesn't have as much work and artistry put into it. So he definitely looks like the leader of a sorts. And all of them also have blunderbusses pointed at the four of you. You also see...
Oh, yeah, bro?
You also see another man walking beside them, and you see a cohort of the city guard from Sealburg. And you recognize the man as Old Man Otto. He's just looking at the four of you and just in shock. His jaw is open wide.
Well, I guess this is the part where you turn us in.
What? And then Otto, what happened? Sigma be praised.
Oh, thank goodness you're here. I was sent here by Mr.
You're
Cole,
unconscious.
Oh, shit. God damn it. I'm sleeping.
Oh, no.
Well, no matter what our story is, you're not going to believe us.
Oh, I've been looking for you for a long time, McCready. A long time.
Well, I guess the fires led you right to me.
You could say that. Coalmouth. And you hear him call down. And the dwarf standing next to him walks forward and says something in a language that you don't recognize, Marius, which is deeply disturbing because you know Kazalid at this point. And the dwarves with the big guns come marching forward, and two of them have extremely disturbing looking manacles in their possession. One approaches Seamus McCready. I suggest you go willingly, Seamus. I wouldn't want to knock you from your high horse.
Wouldn't be you if you didn't show up after the fight was over.
Well, that is a point of leading.
And Seamus will slide off his horse if he has to. If not, he'll just, put his arms out.
You've put your arms out, and the dwarf can't reach. So, yes, you end up having to get off of your horse. And he clasps the irons around your wrists, and they are cold. And one thing you notice, Seamus, as soon as they clasp around your wrist, that feeling you always have in your palm, that searing sensation, from where your sword branded your flesh, you don't feel it anymore as soon as the manacles clasp around your wrists.
You don't ever tell you, Walter, you have a stupid hat.
Well, that's funny coming from, what do they call yourself now, the headsman?
Seamus is
see.
going to go willingly.
Well, we'll see if your reputation lives up to the man. Bring them. Another dwarf approaches you, Marius.
Quick question. You said they're fully clad in armor.
Yes.
Do we see black hair tusks?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing exposed, but the helmet has tusks built into it.
Mm-hmm. How close am I to Coalmouth?
Coalmouth? Oh,
Yeah.
Not too far, probably 20 feet. I will warn you, though. If you come running towards Coalmouth...
I know.
Okay.
I'm just.
Just so you know,
Look at my options.
a volley
Look
of
at my options.
blunderbusses may explode, is all I'm saying. So,
Do it.
I know. I was considering it. Yeah. Marius is just going to look down at. I guess is the man that I'm tending. Is he dead or alive?
no, he's alive. He's alive. You put
Okay.
the flames out, and he's kind of... He doesn't look good, but he's alive.
Yeah. I'm sorry, friend. It doesn't look like it's going to get any better. I take the cloak and put it back on and turn around and stick my hands out for the dwarf to come clamp on.
All right. He begins to clamp the manacles around your wrist, Marius.
When he does, I kind of lean down to him and say, in Khazalid, I know what you are, and you're going to regret this.
He understands you, and he says something, but it's in that foreign language that you. It's similar to Khazalid, but there's something wrong with it. Reminds you a lot of the Beastmen, how they talk. It's kind of strange how that works, but yes. And he has the end of the chain and begins walking. Are any of you going to resist this? Braggadine doesn't have a choice because he's unconscious. Is anyone else going to resist?
No, I mean, it doesn't look like it's a resistible a situation.
I will say Otto is... You hear him he's basically trying to plead your case as you're walking back to Sealburg. You're being led.
Yes. We're going back to Silver. Okay.
Oh, he's taking you in the direction of Sealburg.
Okay.
The various of the guards are kind of, the city guard that came along with him are kind of looking back and forth at each other. Everyone's extremely nervous. From what it looks like to be in the presence of this witch hunter and his cohort of fanatics and Dawi. Very strange, cruel-looking Dawi.
Did they take our weapons?
You are stripped of your weapons after the manacles are clapped on your person.
Even my knuckle dusters and my underpants?
Your knuckle dusters are not taken, Marius, if that's what you're worried about. Not yet, at least. Currently, though, they do take your pick from you.
Mm.
Or was
I
your pick
will-
on your person?
The dwarves.
Pick was on my person.
Okay,
It
so
it
they
was on my
take your
pack.
pick. They also take your pack. Same thing for Seamus. You are stripped of all visible weapons. Bragadine is also stripped of all visible weapons. And a set of irons are placed on his unconscious corpse, and he is dragged by one of the dwarves unceremoniously. The same
Damn.
thing is
Dragged
done
on the
to
ground?
his... Yes, you are dragged on the ground.
Damn.
And the same thing is done to his man-at-arms, who cannot walk, and they're just dragging him. With relative ease. These creatures are extremely robust, very strong. You're being drugged back into Sealburg. The gates are open, and there's a crowd gathered. There's people gathered to see what happened. There's news, apparently, that something happened to the road wardens, that they're all gone. And Cole, as soon as they get close to the gates, yes, people of Sealburg, fear not. Sigmar's grace has come to your great city. I will purge it of all this corruption. These will be the first, as he motions back towards the four of you. And Otto, this entire time, has been pleading for a case to be heard. And at some point, the governor makes himself known. What is this? And then Cole looks back, looks him in the eyes. Watch your tone. These are my charges. They have committed great atrocities against the Empire, against Sigmar's glory. They will burn. You can't do this. They must stand trial. The only trial they must stand is the one I deem. Are you guys doing anything at this point? Just kind of standing here at the gate.
Yeah, Seamus is very stone-faced.
Marius would probably yell at Otto to tell Sarah and Priscilla not to leave with Aggie.
Okay. And he's... Yes, Marius, just... Okay. And he ducks his head back and he begins moving himself towards the Thaggy, the direction of the Thaggy. After a few moments pass, are you doing anything else?
I guess the only thing I would be doing right now is trying to take in the situation, I guess. If that's a roll or not, whatever.
Go
That's
ahead.
what you would be doing.
Go ahead and give me a perception test first.
Okay. Uh, 35 out of 57.
35 out of 57. Okay, you're glancing around. You see most of these faces are ashen white, and many of them, they look terrified. This is unheard of. And now, at this point, word is being spread that Marius Wolf, Seamus McCready, the captain of the mercenary company that has been ridding the woods of Sealburg, have murdered in cold blood the road wardens to a man. And the governor is adamant that you must stand trial. And eventually, for the sake of brevity, because we only have so much time tonight, Cole is forced to allow something to take place, some kind of investigation, at a minimum. So you are brought to the Temple of Sigmar in Sealburg. The last time any of you really spent any time there was very, very long ago, back when Father Lichter was still alive. There is a man standing out front that you all would recognize, though none of you have never spoken to, as Augustus Huss. A tall man, blue eyes, a disturbing gleam in his eye, very similar to the one in your witch hunter friends. Clad in the regalia and plate mail of a warrior priest. Many of his own fanatics about the temple, about the outside of the temple. He smiles openly, and the doors slide outward. The outside of the temple looks like it's in severe disrepair. As the four of you are led into the temple itself, you would notice that there are cobwebs, there's dirt, there's dust. The pews they're kind of mashed together. It doesn't look like anyone has been in this place in years, because they haven't. The crowd has been dispersed at this point, long before you are led inside. You don't know if Sarah got your message or not. And Bragadine, unfortunately, is unconscious.
I know, man. This is that's my grandpa. Isn't the governor my grandfather?
I don't know. He might have a relation of some kind.
Yeah.
It was never discussed. So, regardless, though, he has managed to at least secure you a reprieve. You were brought into the temple, and Marius, you spent more time in here than anyone else. And you would notice, first off, that you are brought around, because it's a very large room. And you know, off to the side, there is essentially where Father Lichter taught you how to read. Oh, so long ago. The door is closed, and there's large locks on the door itself. Large, like, padlocks and chains. You're led past that door, and a piece of the wall that leads down to the cellar. Because there is actually a cellar in this house of worship. And as you move downwards, you notice that the disrepair even travels so far as to be down here. Some of the stones are cracked, and there is what appears to be some kind of moss growing on the walls. You get down to the bottom floor, to the actual floor itself, where wine and things like that, things of great importance, were kept in the temple, and most of it is barren, except there have been constructed these massive iron cages, huge. They go from floor to ceiling, and the ceilings here are 10 feet tall, or 12 feet tall. So it's a very large cage itself, but they're thin. It looks like you can only fit maybe 2 people at a time in each cage. Bragadine and his men-at-arms are tossed in one cage. Seamus in his own, and Marius in his own. The doors are closed and locked with a key. There's hay about the floor. No bench, no bucket. Just stone and iron. The room is very dimly lit with a few sconces. Bragadine, you finally awaken.
What are we? And me, what just happened? Do I still have crossbow bolts in me? Any healing, any bandaging?
You would not have the bolts in you. They would have removed the bolts. But if anybody's been shot by a black powder weapon, those bullets are inside your body.
Oh, no.
And if not removed soon, will begin to fester.
Well, we have to have a Probably like a surgeon talent.
A surgeon has to remove them.
All right.
What? Mary, Seamus, what? Oh, how close are they? How close are these cages? Can I yell across and speak to these?
You guys are actually butted up against one wall right next to each other.
Okay.
There's cage in between you. No, excuse, how do I put this? There is like the walls of the cages interlock. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mary, Seamus, what has happened? I remember the stockade and us trying to flee, and just I remember nothing else. What have you got us into?
We're on trial for the murder of the road wardens.
We did not murder them. We defended ourselves.
Oh.
They were clearly ensorcelled.
You can tell that to that bastard in the stupid hat when he comes back.
Stupid hat. I don't know what you're talking about. Guards.
He doesn't.
Yeah, Marius would explain what a witch hunter is,
Yes.
and that apparently he knows Seamus and a Coldmouth, who I swore vengeance to, and technically I think so did Braggadine.
So did Braggadine. He doesn't know, though. He
that's
hasn't
right.
seen him.
Yeah, apparently was there as well. Yeah, he would just impart that information to make it kind of brief. Marius is going to be like, try to rest as much as you can. If it comes down to it, Dean question.
Yes.
I don't know the rules and stuff. As far as I know, in regular trials in the Empire,
Mm-hmm.
you can request trial by combat. I don't know if a witch trial would qualify.
Usually the witch trial, what happens is he says you're a witch, he takes you out to the pyre, and then he burns you. So that's usually the trial.
Yeah, I was picking
so,
up the position here.
You're not exactly sure what is going to happen right now,
Okay.
but if it comes up, I will let you know. If you can request it, yes.
All right.
Braggadine isn't having this. He stands up and he goes to the bars and he, guards, and shakes on.
Braggadine, rest. You're going to need it.
Marius,
We're not going to get out of here.
Marius, we are in Steelberg. Do you not remember long ago when I told you how my family has connections with the mine here?
Braggadine, this is a church matter. The governor apparently has lobbied for us, so there's some hope, but you are wounded. I suggest you rest. I am going to rest and see if I can. If there's a vulnerability or an opportunity to escape. I will be ready.
Has Braggadine been completely stripped of all his possessions?
Yes, you have. You have nothing on you. At this point, when you're in your cells, you would have been checked more thoroughly.
Okay.
Including knuckle dusters, Marius.
Writing utensils?
No!
Anything, perhaps a quill, perhaps?
Go ahead, and if you guys want to try to secret something away, I need sleight of hand checks. If you want to try to secret something. Same thing for you, Marius. If you want to try to secret the knuckle dusters away, give me a sleight of hand check.
No, Marius isn't going to try to do that.
Okay. Seamus, do you want to try to secret anything away?
No, I don't. No.
No? Okay.
No.
All right.
I do, but I don't think I was unconscious. They would have, yeah, all right.
You know what? What would you try to sneak away, though, Braggadine?
A pin or two? Maybe,
let me do something here.
Okay. I've got a little plan here. I want to try something.
Okay. Here's what happened. I just rolled for it.
Okay.
Your man-at-arms, who was not unconscious, he looks like, as you're sitting in your cell with him,
Mm-hmm.
it looks like he has in his possession a fountain pen. The equivalent
All right.
of a fountain pen in this
Okay.
time. So basically like a fancy metal quill, essentially, is what it is.
That's awesome, actually.
He has been in the habit of trying to learn how to read and write, and learning Reichspiel. And so he has been, he actually has some paper on his person as well. And he was somewhat ashamed of it, so he's been keeping it in his boot, and it was not thoroughly searched as the rest of you, apparently.
I will. Do I need to role play out me questioning him for it, or can I just have it?
At some point, you question him about it,
Okay.
about people not having anything, and he produces it, and we'll hand it to you. As you take it, Bragadine, as he hands it to you, you hear footsteps coming down the stairs.
I try to hide it on my person. If I think someone is coming in here.
Where are you going to hide it at on your person? Person wallet?
No, I'm not putting
Damn
anything
it.
in there. Maybe in my waistband, underneath my tunic.
Okay, go ahead and give me
Sleight
do you want to do sleight of hand, or do you want to do stealth?
Oh, I want to do sleight of hand.
Okay, give me a sleight of hand check.
Okay, I got some skill in that, actually. All right, so I'll do the second part of my plan in a moment here. Let me just double check that. 10, 57. I rolled 6 out of 57.
Okay, very good. You very quickly tuck it into your waistband, and it looks like you've barely even moved. But you sit up and look out. I'm assuming all of you sit up. Marius is the closest one. It goes Marius, Seamus, then Bragadine, and his men-at-arms. When it comes to location closest to the stairs.
Okay.
The footsteps get down, and you hear more than one set of footsteps, but you hear the boots and the scuff of cured leather. And then you see the form in the dimly lit room of your witch hunter captor. He has a smile on his face as he walks in. Well. We finally meet. And he looks over at you, Marius. I wasn't expecting such a specimen as it is.
I'm sorry, sir. I was unaware that you wanted to meet me.
Oh, I've been looking for you for quite some time, Wolf. You and the headsman here, and this little man as well. He's been a thorn in someone's side, let's just say.
Little man, I mean, Marius is not the tallest, but you don't need to insult him.
He gives a big smile. Oh, yes, joke all you like, little man. Joke, please. He brushes his mustache, he's got like a very thin goatee mustache kind of about his, and it is graying. He looks to be probably in his like late 40s. Salt and pepper kind of hair, if he took off his hat, but he has not. His eyes look a little weird. His eyes they look black, like black And you could swear you see like a tint of purple every once in a while, Marius, as you're kind of looking him over. Seamus. How long's it been? 10, 11 years? Nice to see you getting about. How did you get off of that tree?
It was a windy day, and then I'll spit kind of on the ground.
He spit on the ground. He... Tut. Oh, Seamus. We're gonna have fun, you and I. But who should I speak with first? And he begins looking between the three of you. I have many questions. Most of which I think any of you could answer. First of all, and he reaches into the satchel at his hip and pulls out a book bound in what looks like skin, and it looks eerily familiar, Marius, as it is your book. This is awfully damning evidence for this trial this man wants to have. But as he brushes his fingers over it, you can see that the book is writhing beneath his fingertips. I want to know, why can't I read this book? And he looks over at you, Marius.
Marius, gonna kind of sit there and just say, took me a while to learn how to read as well. I learned in these very walls. If you would like, I can give you a few pointers.
Same question, real quick.
Yes.
This is the book with the blank pages to.
Yes, this is the demon book. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Well.
Wait.
Oh yes. Do you have something to say, foreigner?
I am Yes, I am not from this land, but no, you don't understand. My friend Marius, I have been teaching him to read and write, and he wanted to keep a journal of his travels. The book is blank because he has not recorded anything yet. He is still embarrassed about his poor penmanship. That is why you cannot read it, because there is nothing in it yet.
He smiles at you, Bragadine. And as he smiles, you can see that some of his teeth are unnaturally sharp.
Oh, no.
Not fangs, just some of his teeth are a little jagged. And it's a wide smile, and he looks at you. Oh, I know what this book is. I've been looking for it for a very long time. And you're going to tell me what it does. You're going to tell me where I need to go next. Yes, but which one? You know what? Perhaps we'll let him choose. And he motions over towards the staircase, and there's this second set of boots that come down behind him. Much quieter. Matter of fact, eerily quiet. It would be hard for any of you to hear them coming down. And a tall, thin man walks into the light. He has a extremely large pistol on his hip, a sword, and he has, strange enough, a pouch that looks like it's full of, you're not sure what. But the thing, Marius, is you see that he has a sling dangling from it. The man's wearing leather armor, nothing too unassuming. He looks kind of dirty. He has a red cape about his shoulders, and the hood's drawn over his face. around his arms are exposed, and there's tight bandages around both of his wrists. And it looks like there is fresh blood underneath each bandage. He peels back the hood and looks at you, Marius. It's been a long time, Wolf. It's been a long time. And you're looking at the very cold features of Mr. Catch. And that's where we're going to end tonight's episode of Rise
Son
of
of a
the Forsaken.
Wow.
Oh, that bastard blew up the gate.
Oh, man. Shit.
I knew it once you said sling. I was like, well, there he is.
There he is! There he is! There he is. So, whew, man. It's a doozy of an episode, guys. I'm not going to lie. Man, I was nervous about this one. It's been a long time coming. But it's finally here. And you guys all might get burned at the stake. I don't know. Let's see what happens.
Ooh, exciting. Exciting.
But
Can't wait.
Ooh, boy.
but before we get to that, surely we had some favorite moments of the night. I mean, let's start off with Marius Wolf. Favorite moments of the night.
I mean, there was a lot of multiple reveals tonight, so I enjoyed those. The mysterious witch hunter that apparently conscripted Seamus all those years ago.
Yes, he did.
Moraz Coalmouth as well,
Mm-hmm.
in tow. And of course, Mr. Catch at the end. The rat catcher, or former rat catcher.
He didn't have his dog with him.
He didn't have Seek.
Or maybe you just haven't seen him yet.
But yeah, all the reveals, a lot of reveals. I enjoyed that. Of course, the fights were great. But yeah, the reveals for sure.
Exploded someone's nuts. That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
How about old Doobie? Favorite moments of the night, sir?
Yeah, of course, Marius going around doing the Bobby Hill to people. That's the side of Marius that citizens of the Empire don't get to see.
It's true. They
Him
don't.
kicking people in the nuts.
It's real in these streets.
And then honorable mention is all of the tie-ins from way back in like episodes 1 and 4 and
Oh yeah.
whatever episode Coalmouth was in. It seems like it was so long ago. And all the tie-ins coming full circle.
Coming full
Yeah,
circle.
If you guys are wondering what we're talking about, some of these characters are like Mr. Catch. You have to go back to like episode 1 and 2.
Yep.
So.
Yep. He's way back there. And then Coalmouth, you met Coalmouth in the mine. Well, not the mine. Well, it technically is a mine, but in Carrickthorne.
Well, we never met him. We were told about him.
You were told about him. You're right. Yes, you were told about him.
But from what was his name? He died, and he
Yes,
told
he
us
did.
he
He died
swear.
horribly.
I know.
He died horribly. So yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes, lots and lots of tie-ins from way back in the day that have finally come full circle. But before that, favorite moment, Mr. Bragadine, besides being unconscious for the part that you really wanted to speak during.
The combat was awesome, but feeling a roll and just smacking the shit out of my head and knocking just that. I mean, I wanted to be conscious, but I'm just the idea of the horse just riding, just trotting along with me, dragging in the mud or the dirt is it's a beautiful. It's a classic Bragadine moment there.
It is.
Classic Bragadine, yeah.
It's classic. At least you weren't lit on fire. That's a plus.
I'm gracious for that. Yes.
Yeah. So yes. You were just unconscious for the big reveal. It's fine though. It's fine. So, yeah. For me, finally being able to bring some of this to the forefront. There's been stuff happening for a long time in the story that you guys are not privy to, and depending on choices you made have reflected, and finally things are starting to come together, and I am very excited about what is to come. I'm very excited about what I'm going to do to you in the next episode, so much so that for the viewer decision, I would like to know which one of these individuals is going to receive the tender loving care of Mr. Catch's coercion techniques in the next episode. So I would like.
I know where my vote is.
I know where your vote is too. So who's going to be first? I would like to know from all of you out there. Man, hell of an episode, guys. I enjoyed it. For all of you out there, if you have made it this far, thank you very much for watching, first off. Thank you for sticking with this as long as you have. And just, man, we love the feedback we get from you guys. So do make sure to vote in the viewer decision in the comment section. And if you don't want to vote, just leave us a comment. We enjoy looking at those as well. All of us do look at them. So please do that. Do make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. It helps me out, and it helps this get out and reach more people. So helping share the story that we all enjoy and love, at least at this point. We'll see how this goes. But as usual, guys, I've been Jumbo Thick. This has been Rise of the Forsaken. Thank you for watching, and we are looking forward to seeing you in the next episode. Have a good day.